Words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand corrected.
They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him, they have shamed him, they have lied about him consistently on their show.
The camera cuts and everything freezes. No claps, no fake laughs, not even a cue card twitching in the background. Just Whoopi Goldberg caught in the still frame. Eyes darting with panic, lips trembling like they're 1 second away from spilling the truth. Her fists grip the table, not for show, but like she's holding on for dear life. This ain't some scripted drama. This ain't one of those fiery debates on The View. This question mark, this is real. That colorful set? Gone. It's been replaced by the cold, stiff vibe of a courtroom. No jokes flying around, no snappy one-liners, and definitely no cheering crowd to back her up. This time, Whoopi's not just being questioned by critics. She's being targeted. And who's leading the charge? Karoline Leavitt, a conservative firecracker on the rise who didn't just throw shade online. She showed up locked and loaded with a full-blown lawsuit. And the kicker? She brought receipts, the kind that don't just trend. They blow the lid off headlines. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and help us hit that 1K subscribers goal fast. We're serving up the spiciest celebrity gossip and hottest tea every single day. And trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. What kicked off as just another spicy segment spiraled into a full-blown battle of reputations with legal threats so sharp they could slice careers clean in half. Subpoenas started flying like shrapnel, and every statement hit harder than a thunderclap. The studio lights stayed bright, but the vibe? Ice cold, courtroom cold. All the usual jokes and shade, gone. Replaced with silence so heavy it felt like headlines were waiting to explode with every breath.
I respect everything everyone is saying to me, and I don't want to fake apologize. I'm very upset about that people are misunderstood what I was.
Whoopi Goldberg, once the undisputed queen of the quick comeback, now looked like she was clinging to her last nerve. No smirks, no zingers. Just a woman trying to stay upright while the walls closed in. And this ain't just drama. It's a meltdown in real time. At the center, something way bigger than social media whispers or talk show tea. This is the kind of moment that rewrites the game. It all started like any other loud, messy morning on The View. Bold hosts, a controversial guest, and enough side-eye to break the internet. But this time, it wasn't just talk. Karoline Leavitt didn't pull up to play nice, and she sure wasn't about to sit there and smile while getting roasted. From the second she hit that seat, it was on. No sweet intros, no fake pleasantries, just straight up smoke from the jump.
It's not good for anyone, and it's not good for poor folks. It is not good for y'all because you become slave fodder. It's not a good thing. It's not good for women because you are now being told and dictated to, and you can't say anything because they, throw you in a jail or whatever.
Joy Behar came at her first, dripping in sarcasm, swinging with that smug grin. She mocked Karoline's quick rise in politics like it was some kind of punchline, daring her to snap back. Joy laughed like she'd just tossed out a harmless joke. But the tension in the room? It snapped like a live wire. Then came Whoopi. She leaned in close, face full of shade, and tore into Karoline's career like it was nothing but viral luck. She didn't see grit or hustle, just another flash-in-the-pan moment. Her scoff hit like a slap, like she was brushing off a gnat, not tearing down someone's entire journey on live TV. And Sunny? She joined in with a smile that screamed fake. She threw jabs masked as commentary, reducing Karoline's path to some kind of political dress-up game, just another rich white girl playing pretend in America's house. The panel locked in like a pack, the crowd eating it up. But what nobody realized was Karoline wasn't about to just take the hit and bounce. She didn't just show up with clapbacks. Karoline Leavitt came packing legal heat. And now, the whole show's under fire. The crowd ate it up like it was a comedy special, applause blasting, laughter bouncing off the walls. The co-hosts, soaking it in like they were untouchable, high-fiving each other with that Mean Girls at Lunch energy. It was a full-on pack mentality. Teasing dressed up as witty banter, mockery disguised as just opinions, but Karoline didn't flinch. Not once. No tears, no dramatic walk-off, no meltdown moment. She sat there calm, breathing slow, locking eyes with each one of them like she was reading charges in a courtroom. Every jab, she logged it. Not with rage, but like a lawyer collecting evidence. Then came the silence breaker, and it wasn't a tweet or a spicy press tour or some headline-chasing moment. Nah, this silence shattered with a bang. Legal papers slammed down straight onto ABC's doorstep. No warning, no whisper, just a defamation lawsuit colder than ice, naming sabotage, calling out intent, and flipping the script. Karoline wasn't out here to play victim. She came to unravel the whole act. No hashtags, no viral sound bites. Just a clean, calculated hit straight to the neck. What they thought was a roast turned out to be the first chapter of a full-blown reckoning. She didn't just clap back. Karoline detonated. What started as just another talk show segment blew up into a full-on legal battlefield. And now, that same panel that giggled through her takedown is scrambling behind the scenes, like the lights just came on at a secret party. This wasn't about politics or chasing views. This was about a line crossed on live TV. And Karoline, she wasn't about to let it slide, not even for a second. What looked like her keeping it cool on set, that was strategy. She was biding her time, calculating the hit, and when she dropped it, it didn't just land on Whoopi. It hit the whole machine that backed her. Now the scripts flipped. Whoopi, once running the table with hot takes, isn't leading a convo, she's answering for one. And this time, no commercial break to cut away, no laughing crowd to cushion the blow, no PR squad to patch the cracks.
If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Just cold silence and real consequences. Meanwhile, Karoline stayed low-key. No mysterious IG posts, no shady subtweets, no half-baked apology tour. She stayed locked in, focused, sharp, lethal. Every smirk, every jab, every dismissive swipe, they were all noted. Not for fame, for court. And when she finally made her move, it wasn't noise, it was shockwaves. That lawsuit didn't just drop, it crushed. The internet didn't react, it exploded. Karoline didn't just flip the script, she turned the whole show upside down. A legal earthquake rocked the entire media world. And at the center of the shakeup, one jaw-dropping number, $800 million, no joke, no typo, $800 million. This wasn't some petty response or a PR stunt gone wild. This was a cold, calculated war aimed straight at the chest of mainstream media. And Karoline Leavitt? She didn't just come for Whoopi. She named every single one of them. Joy Behar, named. Sunny Hostin, named. Even ABC itself got hit dead center in the legal blast zone. Nobody walked away clean. Nobody ducked the fallout. The claims, brutal. This wasn't about name-calling or hurt feelings. Karoline's lawsuit went deep, accusing the hosts and the network of staging a full-on hit job on her live on air. Not just to embarrass her, but to destroy her image. The message behind the mockery? Loud and clear. You don't belong here. But here's the twist. Karoline didn't roll in like a victim. She came in like a storm. Head high, heels on, with a legal team that moved fast and hit hard. Their first statement, surgical and savage. This isn't about left or right, this is about right and wrong. They laid it out with zero hesitation. No woman, no matter her politics, should be blindsided, belittled, or broken down on national TV just for having a different point of view. And just like that, the whole vibe shifted. This wasn't just a lawsuit, it was a cultural flashpoint. A defamation case turned into a national firestorm. What started as a takedown became a rally cry across the country. This wasn't just Karoline versus The View anymore. It had turned into Karoline versus the whole machine. In her words, she was being punished for daring to think different. And now, this fight wasn't just hers. It belonged to everybody watching from the sidelines, whoever felt shut out for speaking up. What started as one woman's stand had spilled way beyond the courtroom. And the world? Oh, it noticed fast. The spotlight is scorching now, and this week, that courtroom, packed. No cameras allowed, but that hasn't stopped the madness from flooding the internet.
They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him, they have shamed him, they have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people.
What started as whispers turned into banner headlines. Private leaks, now trending everywhere. Insiders are calling the courtroom a straight-up pressure cooker. The tension is so thick, it feels like the walls are vibrating. Everyone's waiting to see who cracks first. Then Whoopi walked in, acting unbothered, rocking dark, oversized shades, lips tight, face stiff like stone. She came dressed in full I'm unshaken mode. But it didn't last. The second Karoline's legal team kicked off their opening shots, the energy flipped quick. Eyewitnesses said it wasn't dramatic, but you could feel it. Whoopi twitched barely, but it was real. A flicker, a shift. A moment that cracked the armor. And then came the footage. One clip after another, raw, uncut, undeniable. There was Whoopi right there on The View, tearing into Karoline's intelligence, mocking her voice, and even throwing jabs at her appearance. Low blows, right in front of a national audience. No edits, no excuses, just the brutal replay of what the world laughed at until now. What used to pass as sharp, snappy TV now hit like a brick. Cruel, mean-spirited, and straight up out of touch. And just when folks thought the worst was already out there, it got uglier. A document surfaced, and it wasn't just smoke, it was fire. Leaked emails, text threads, and internal chatter from ABC's own crew. One message, according to insiders, didn't even try to hide it. It read like a blueprint for humiliation. Let her squirm on air. We need the spike. Another, allegedly from a top producer, cracking jokes about pushing Karoline to the edge, just to make the segment go viral. This wasn't about real conversation. It wasn't about honest debate. It was about clicks, shock value, and tossing someone's dignity in the trash for ratings. And as every word was read out loud in court, you could feel the air change. The oxygen in the room thinned. Then it happened. Witnesses say Whoopi leaned in to whisper something to her lawyer. No one could catch what she said.
This is a party that says we believe in parents' rights. You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going on? So I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide for my child what my child says.
But slowly, like she wasn't even in control of her body, she dropped her face into her hands. No stage, no lights, no cheering crowd, just a cold, quiet courtroom, and a silence so heavy it stuck to the walls. When the court returned from a quick break, Whoopi walked back in with her game face on. But you could tell something had cracked. Her eyes, glossy, makeup, smudged just a bit, and her fingers, they trembled as she fumbled with her notes. This wasn't the Whoopi the world was used to seeing. This was someone unraveling in real time. This wasn't the bold, unstoppable force that used to light up the screen with rapid-fire sound bites and sharp comebacks. No, this was someone staring down the raw, uncut consequences of her own words. And the wildest part, this was just the start. The trial had barely peeled back the first layer, and already that simple talk show couch was starting to feel like ground zero of an emotional avalanche. Whoopi, the icon, the legend, the voice that once commanded every room she stepped into, was now face-to-face with a storm she helped build. The shift wasn't just unexpected, it was jaw-dropping. Fans who'd watched Whoopi for decades saw something they never thought they would. This was the same woman who once ruled daytime TV like a queen, sharp, fiery, untouchable. She had dodged backlash like it was background noise. Controversy was her playground. Scandals came and went, but she stayed standing. Until now. In that courtroom, there were no laughs to soften the blow, no bright lights to blur the truth, no clever edits to cut out the damage, just Whoopi, no filter, no armor, looking like someone who finally understood that the spotlight doesn't switch off just because things get ugly. And in that silence, the world saw it too. The fall wasn't loud, it was real. Sitting across from Whoopi was Karoline Leavitt, locked in, no theatrics, no smirks, no need for the spotlight, just pure laser focus. Hands folded, back straight, eyes locked and unmoving. She didn't need to raise her voice to make noise. Her whole vibe spoke volumes. This wasn't a publicity grab, this was a reckoning. Her message wasn't shouted, but it was undeniable. This is what accountability looks like. And then the real storm rolled in, and it didn't come loud. It came cold, clinical, precise. Karoline's legal team dropped a payload of receipts so tight it felt like watching a top-secret intel drop straight out of a spy thriller. They came with everything: raw, unedited footage, word-for-word transcripts, behind-the-scenes production notes, internal emails, and even metadata to back it all up. No tweaks, no edits, just a brutal, clean timeline of what looked like a carefully orchestrated takedown. What once seemed like harmless jokes or off-the-cuff digs turned out to be pieces of a much bigger plan. One jab at a time, it was about breaking her down in public on purpose. And then, boom, the courtroom got hit with a bombshell, a leaked internal memo, the kind that makes time stop. According to reports, it told producers to target Karoline's age, throw her off her game, make her spiral, all for the sake of juicing up the ratings. Not to challenge her ideas, not to debate, but to rattle her, to wreck her. It wasn't just shocking, it was surgical, ruthless. The whole setup was designed to fracture her, not fight fair. And the courtroom reacted instantly. Gasps, side eyes, stunned silence. You could feel the shift. Everyone knew this wasn't just shady, it was calculated destruction. Even the legal pros sitting in the gallery couldn't hide their reactions. They flinched. One analyst, caught on a hot mic, dropped the line that would set the tone for the whole day. This isn't just commentary, this is coordination. And just like that, everything shifted. This wasn't just a messy media moment. It wasn't just a defamation case anymore. This had turned into something way bigger, a deep dive into intent. What looked like a fiery on-air roast, now being picked apart like a planned hit. Every sarcastic jab, every loaded question, every perfectly timed smirk that cued audience laughter wasn't random. It wasn't just talk show banter. It was starting to look like a scripted operation. And this time the audience wasn't sipping coffee in front of a TV. It was a courtroom, stone silent, thick with tension, and full of eyes watching every move. When the prosecution circled back to that memo, the one about using Karoline's age to shake her, Whoopi's defense felt shaky. She claimed she didn't know about the behind-the-scenes decisions, said she had no part in shaping or editing the segment. "I'm just the talent," she reportedly told the court. But the excuse landed with a thud. Flat. Empty, like a parachute that didn't open. Even the judge didn't seem sold. And Karoline's lawyer wasted zero time. No drama, no drawn-out buildup. Just a clean, cold pivot toward the bench and a line that cut through the silence like a blade. Ignorance is not a defense when you're speaking into a microphone heard by millions. That moment hit hard. Boom! The courtroom didn't just go quiet, it went dead. No coughs, no shuffling, not even a breath. It was like the walls sucked up every ounce of air. Heads snapped around, eyes locked on every face, lawyers, witnesses, anyone who might react. Something had shifted. This wasn't just a courtroom anymore. It felt like a full-blown reckoning, a public unmasking live and raw. And right at the center of it sat Whoopi Goldberg, silent, frozen, unraveling. She didn't speak, didn't move. Her jaw was tight. Her eyes blinked fast like she was trying to hold it together, but nothing came out. No words, no defense. Just silence so loud, it swallowed the room whole. That stillness? It said more than any explanation ever could. No sighs, no statements, just the image of someone realizing too late that what they thought was buried had been broadcasted to the world. And across from her, Karoline Leavitt sat unmoved, calm, focused, no gloating, no smirks. She didn't have to say a thing. Her presence said it all. This wasn't drama. This was justice, served cold and crystal clear. Back at ABC, panic, total chaos. Insiders said execs were scrambling, emergency meetings flying, phones ringing off the hook, legal teams pouring in like it was a 5-alarm fire. They were tearing through Whoopi's contract page by page, like somewhere in the fine print, there was a way out of the storm they never saw coming. But the damage? Already done. Damage control shot to the top of ABC's to-do list, but the train had already derailed. The leaked memos, raw footage, and courtroom drama, it all spilled out everywhere. The network's shiny, well-managed image didn't just crack, it crumbled overnight. This wasn't just a PR issue, this was rot from the inside. Suddenly, it's all hands on deck. Ad deals being ripped apart and reconsidered. PR teams spinning in panic mode. Leaked internal emails showed marketing heads scrambling to figure out how to quietly bail without dragging the whole ship down. And the advertisers, they're not waiting. One by one, they're slipping out the back door, pulling out before the headlines start sticking to their brands. Fear is spreading fast inside the building. And the numbers are ugly. Ratings crashing. Longtime viewers feel duped. New ones aren't tuning in for entertainment. They're here to watch a collapse unfold in real time. And ABC, quiet, too quiet, no statements, no press briefings, just a giant leadership void where direction should be. Behind the scenes, desperation is setting in. There's talk of stand-in hosts, rebranded segments, even whispers of yanking The View off air completely just to stop the bleeding. But this ain't just a bad week. This is structural failure, the kind of mess you can't clean with a spin team. And at the epicenter, Whoopi Goldberg, once seen as untouchable, now hanging by a thread. A legacy years in the making, now dangling on the edge. She used to be a force, a fixture, a giant. Now she's teetering. She used to be the voice of daytime TV, a name that held weight in every debate, every headline, every living room across the country. Now, instead of producers handing her cue cards, it's lawyers whispering legal strategy. Her zingers have been replaced with legal disclaimers. And the whispers inside ABC, they're getting louder. Insiders say this isn't just about saving face anymore, it's about survival. Word is, execs are seriously floating the unthinkable, pulling the plug on The View. No grand goodbye, no final show, just gone. Silent. Because this case, it's not just about Whoopi anymore. It's about the entire system. The stuff media giants have brushed under the rug for decades. Legal analysts are calling this a landmark case. If Karoline wins, it won't just shake a few headlines, it'll change the game. Commentary, political talk, how guests are treated on air, all of it could be rewritten. Inside the courtroom, the contrast is stark. Whoopi looks like she's been through a storm, still standing but clearly worn. Meanwhile, Karoline, cold as steel, still sharp, in control. She didn't break, she owned it. And now, social media is on fire. Platforms that once ignored her are now filled with clips of her courtroom composure. Hashtags like #Justice for Karoline and #Media Accountability are everywhere. Even folks who used to come at her hard are switching up, not because they've flipped sides, but because they see what's real. They see the setup, the public humiliation, the airtime used as a weapon. And suddenly, this isn't just a political fight. This is a woman fighting not for clout, but for truth. And now, people are lining up behind her. And it's not just her calm that's shaking the table, it's her game plan. No tear-streaked interviews, no staged PR drama, just evidence, stacked high and solid like a fortress. Raw footage, full transcripts, internal emails, production notes. This wasn't chaos, it was choreography, carefully designed, cruel, carried out live in front of millions. And now, it's blowing up the media world from the inside out. Because if Karoline wins, it's not just a win, it's a wake-up call. Her victory won't just clear her name, it'll rip the mic out of the media's hands and say, you don't own the final word anymore. It'll crack the fake safety net that guests are protected. It'll show that viral takedowns and public shaming can come with real consequences. And for anyone who's ever been mocked, silenced, or ambushed just for speaking their truth, it says loud and clear, you can push back. And for the industry, that's nightmare fuel, because it means everything changes, the rules, the game, the power behind the red light. This isn't just a case, it's a reckoning, a battle over what media should be. Karoline isn't just surviving the storm, she's commanding it. standing dead center, calm, sharp, untouchable. The media's watching. The people are locked in. And the system, it's shaking. Because now every studio is asking the same thing. What if she wins? If she does, it won't just be a legal win. It'll be the start of a revolution. If you're hooked on this story, make sure to like, comment, and share your thoughts down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. This saga's far from over. See you in the next one.